Right, you are all being recorded again, just so you know. Right. And that's the most recent thermal data that I could get from RASP. So that is the star rating for tomorrow. I've got no data for Sunday, but as you can see, that's an old forecast. But it doesn't look too bad, 2-star around here-ish. So there's some potential. Okay, you should have seen the rules by now, I would hope. I'm just going to move something, right. Okay, mandatory equipment. You must have your paraglider, rucksack, helmet, reserve parachute, harness with back protection. There's also some stuff in the recommended list, like a radio and hiking poles and things like that. And of course, you've all read the rules, so you know what the mandatory equipment is. I may do a spot check on someone's kit tomorrow morning. You are allowed to have a supporter, and the supporter is allowed to walk with you and help you navigate and feed you and give you drinks, but they are not allowed to carry your equipment. And they are my point of contact. So if you do have a supporter, you've got less to do because the supporter is going to tell me where you are every couple of hours rather than you have to do it yourself. The methods of travel allowed in the race are walking, running, or paragliding. You're not allowed to swim, and you're not allowed to hitchhike, which I think would be quite difficult anyway at the moment. During the rest period, what are you allowed to do? Well, at some point tomorrow evening, the race will be paused for the evening. And at that point, you are to send me a pin on the on the Telegram tracking group, #Matt, finishing the day here, something like that. You can then do what you like. You can go and book into a 5-star hotel down the road in Cardiff, as long as by some point on Sunday, you start again and drop a pin at the same place where you stopped and say, #Matt, starting day 2 here. You can do anything between, get a helicopter out there to stay there with your bivvy bag. I don't care. Anything in between as well is allowed. Right. Some rules then. Airspace. Right. You're not allowed to go into controlled airspace. Obviously, you know that. Clouds. You're not allowed to go into the clouds. So you are not allowed to fly in the clouds at all. If anyone sees you entering cloud, I would expect to hear from other pilots reporting it, and I will decide what your fate will be, but it may be disqualification at worst. Right, we're hike and fly racing in Wales, which is on the balancing a fine line between what we're allowed to do on the mountains, and we're not necessarily flying from official flying site. So I please ask that you stick to public rights of way with your hiking, and any takeoffs that you do are discreet, and that we spend the minimum amount of time soaring any sites, which you would expect to do anyway if we're trying to fly cross country, and be respectful to landowners. And if we're stopped by anyone, we just say that you're taking part in a paragliding event and just move on. Don't have big old chats with the landowners around here. Most of them are pretty cool, but there's a couple who give us a bit of a hard time. Please follow the country code and close any gates that you find closed, open any gates that you find open. Take any litter with you. We'll come on to litter a bit later. Just, yeah, be good eggs for paragliding, please. That would be great. Protests, like I said, if anyone is unhappy about another entrant's behavior, let me know. And worst case, we'll have to form a race panel jury of peers to decide any punishments to be laid out. I don't think there will be, as we haven't had yet in 4 years. Team flying, right, you are allowed to bunch up with your mates. So 2 entrants can bunch up together as a team, get radios, fly on whatever frequency they want to, and attack the task together. If you have a supporter, the supporter is allowed to hike with you, feed you, give you water, and if they're a paraglider pilot, they can also top to bottom from any flying site or hill that you find yourself on. They are not to lead out for you. So no no supporter is to be wind dummying or leading out cross country for you. And coming on to fly or hike, well, that is your decision based on the conditions that prevail and your ability. You're not to take any risks outside of your comfort zone or your ability level. I probably don't need to say any more on that. It's totally your decision, and you'll be signing tomorrow morning to say that you understand that. Timings, I will come on to in another slide. And frequency, there's been some chat about our radios mandatory. Well, no, they're not, because they weigh a bit, and I'm not going to make you take them if, well, we don't need them for this sort of event. But if you would like to have one, I will be keeping one turned on 143.9, and you're very welcome to as well. Tracking, right, Live Track 24. As I said, Matt Tandy is my man in Iraq doing the live tracking. 10 minutes before the meeting, he got in touch with me on WhatsApp, which is very rare because he's a big time telegrammer. So he hasn't had any of my telegram messages over the last 48 hours. And after this briefing, I need to catch up with him, get in the route. Get Matt the route to make sure that it's all loaded on the Live Track 24. From you, you're all registered on Live Track 24. You've all got usernames. You've all got Tracker at or Fly Sky High, which is brilliant. And you're going to run with backup batteries all weekend. So you're going to have proper live tracking updated every few seconds, like a live feed onto the Live Track 24 page, as long as Matt's able to do it from Iraq tonight. The reason we use the Telegram tracking group is so that you can post updates, and if you've got Spot or InReach, it links to it automatically, and I can just see your point moving across the terrain every half an hour, even if you've got no mobile signal. But it is a backup. And what I would like you to do, if you can remember, please, especially if your live tracking has gone down, not that you would know, but every couple of hours, please just send a pin. So it's hashtag Matt, where you are, what you're doing. And if you're taking off, just let me know before you take off and after you've landed. So just please make that part of your pre and post landing checks. So as you've seen, Tim Pentreath's written a whole article on this. And if you need some revision, you can look at that. But essentially, you just pin drop in the tracking group, then put hashtag Matt Bill taking off from Sugarloaf in 5 minutes. And you're going to report in safe on the Saturday evening where you finished for the day. I would say any questions, but I'll wait till the end and then we'll do it then. Social media, please use social media. Again, hopefully most of you are on Facebook. Those who are, I've asked if you like and say that you're attending the event, so the Dragon Hike and Fly 2020. You can search for that on Facebook and it comes up as the event page. Please just have up social media on there. Everyone around the country likes following, well, I say everyone, some paragliding geeks like following the race. And yeah, there's various groups following Hike and Fly around the world who quite like it. And for us, it's like a history of the event because you'll see everything in a timeline through the day, the next 48 hours. And if you do any Facebook posts or Instagram posts, remember the hashtag for the event is hashtag Dragon Hike and Fly 2020. And my handle on Instagram is Quick Owl Paragliding. So please remember to tag those. There will be a prize for the best social media post, which I think Greg has won every year, I think. Oh, I might have won it one year. But try not to let me win it or Greg this year. Right, prize giving. Here's a tricky one. Apart from the fact that we're nearly in lockdown again and might not be allowed on the hills in the next few days, the biggest headache for me really, everyone, has been how can we have a party here to celebrate the end of the race when we've got a limit of 30 people for an outdoor gathering? So, been very kindly helped by Padam, who's a veteran of the race, a good friend, but he's now based in Folkestone. And he's got some chaps at the infantry battle school where he used to work. The chefs there are going to make us curry for Sunday afternoon. That said, we have a limit of 30 people in our garden. That includes me, my wife, and it includes the chefs. So it might be that we end up operating a kind of a one in, one out system for the party. Of course, On previous years, sometimes people don't come to the party, they have to go home, they go home on a Saturday evening. If you do that, please just let me know and it'll help me manage the numbers. But at the moment, we're just going to play it by ear and make sure that we've got no more than 30 people in the garden so that we can still have a party. And it might be that if you've been in the garden for half an hour, you go for a wander, come back. It might be a bit weird, but that's, I think, the best that we can do with the current rules. If Mark Drakeford comes and says, oh, you can't even have people in your garden on Sunday, then we might have to think again. But that's how we're doing it for now. So that's my address. You can leave your car on Everest Drive or Oakfield Drive. I'll give you a pin at some point where the garden is and what 3 words. And you can come after the race, so about 3:30 onwards. 4 p.m. we'll be having the curry here and the prize giving. It probably just won't go on quite as long as it usually does. Rebecca will also be giving a prize for the person who collects the most rubbish during their travels. So that will be something to do with some sort of eco-green prize, hopefully, because we are a Surfers Against Sewage plastic-free town, and anything we can do to promote that, we do. So yeah, please collect a litter while you're out and about. While you're at the start of the race, please wear masks tomorrow morning and be 2 meters apart. And again, bring the masks for here just in case, because we'll try and manage the event, but my garden's not huge, and just while you're not eating, you can have a mask on then. And for entry and exit from our house for the party, it's a one-way system. Come in from the A40 and go out the back. I'll show you once you're here how you get out the back. You don't really need to know until you're here. And yeah, like I said, 30 people max in the garden at any one time. So I've got to be counting that all the time during the party, unfortunately. Right, you can start listening now. This is it, the task. We're on. Haven't got a pretty live track 24 one yet, for the obvious reasons that I've already explained. Okay, that is our task. There was some discussion about driving to a start. Again, we're not going to drive to a start. You're at a great place tomorrow morning at the campsite. It's quiet, it's out of the way. They don't really mind that we're a big group of paragliders there. You're going to make your way from the start to the summit of Toravoil, Alter Esker, Minas Llangors, Minas Troid, Weinbach, back to Talabont on Usk, back to Alter Esker, and then to Crickhall. Hopefully I have Live Track 24 link by the morning. I might even have it this evening, but there'll be options to download the route from there and to do more study. Also, this PowerPoint is available. I'll post it online afterwards, and all the links for track and task downloads. If anyone's got a QR code reader, or if someone who hasn't got their phone watching the Zoom and has XC Track or Fly Sky High, you can probably QR code this right now. You will have the task. Okay, Phil, he's like, give me some waypoints, lad. Becca, does it work? I'm just scrolling down your faces. Has anyone made that work on XC Track? Aaron, have you got? No. No. Is that because you're watching this on your phone? Yeah, okay. Bud's got it. Good, it works. Cool. And someone else there in the campsite.
I've got it on Fly Sky High.
Fly Sky High works, great. I might need to check your Fly Sky Highs in the morning because sometimes it doesn't convert as nicely as it does on XC Track.
Yeah.
Cool, but it looks like we've got it, so it works and it's starting to get distributed, so that's lovely. But don't worry, listen in now because I'll just keep talking and we can faff later with putting the route in. Timings. Right, tomorrow morning we will meet at Park Farm campsite Langattock. I was expecting quite a lot of you to stay there tonight, but obviously it looks like not so many are there, which is fine. You can leave your cars. If you're not staying there, you're going to have to park somewhere else because it's not fair to leave cars there. But there are some streets in Langattock, or you could use Crickhowell High School car park, or parking on Oakfield Drive and Everest Drive, as I've already said, and then walk across to the start. But please, if you're not camping there, just to be courteous, please don't leave cars at the campsite tonight. Right, this is the other weird bit. So this maximum group size of 30, how do we get around that? Well, we're going to have 2 start groups. So those of you who've been at the campsite before, you might remember this, but they now have an electronic gate. And pilots who are numbered 1 to 25 on the LifeTrack 24 log, so your pilots list, you're going to start at the entrance to the woods. And pilots 26 and above are going to start where the bridge crosses the stream at the campsite, within the boundaries of the campsite. We're talking less than 100 meters separation. Please wear your masks and be 2 meters apart. And essentially we're going to group up at 5 minutes to go. I'll be wandering around. Any questions, I'll take them then, try and help if anyone's got any burning sort of issues with GPSs. But then, 2 minutes to go, group up in your little groups, 2 meters separation, and then we'll go 8:30 and we're out of there. And given the route, you'll probably be on the canal and distributed, separated straight away along there. Your night stop tomorrow night is at 1900. Start of day 2 is at 09:30. Why is it so late, Al? Well, I need the pilots amongst you to have an opportunity to fly from Actor Esquire back to Crickhowell and not just trail run it at 8:30 in the morning, because you'll still make it back. It would be nice to see the opportunity to fly on Sunday. When I say the pilots, I mean the guys who really want to fly as opposed to the guys who really want to run it. Although you might not still be out tomorrow, Sunday morning. If you're going to run it, you run it tomorrow. But anyway, start of day 2, 09:30. That end of speed section closes at 1500. I think you will all finish the race. I really hope you do. Curry and prizes come to the house for 15:30, and the food will be ready for 1600. See some nodding heads if you got all that. Great, thanks, Aaron. Okay, some graphics now of where we're going, just to help you visualize some of the significant features along the route. So we will start at Park Farm, Langattock, tomorrow morning. Your first turn point is Tor of Oil, which used to be an official flying site for hang gliders back in the 80s. Still gets flown occasionally in a northerly, but it happens to have this big westerly face and a nice big top to bottom, at the very least, for a morning flight. And that's your turn point 1. As it says there, you've got to be 100 meters cylinder on that one. Turn point 2 is Actor Esquire, which was used by Greg to some success last year in the mini dragon race. Not a flying site. I think there were only a couple of us had flown it until last year, but it works, and it works when there's some wind. So that's turn point 2, 100 meters. Turn point 3, Mynydde Llangors, Aaron's local flying site. 100 meters. Now, remember, you've got all those rules about landing at the bottom. So be careful how you approach Mynydde Llangors from Actor Esquire. You have to think about that. Mynydde Troed, summit, trig point, 100 meters. Very rarely flown, but it has got a southwest face. Wynvach, biggest mountain in the Black Mountains. So we've got a 1,500 meter cylinder on it. It's massive. It will be windy up there tomorrow. So I don't want you getting anywhere near the ridge line. So that's why we've got 1,500 meters on the summit. 10.6, White Hart Inn. Some of you may down a pint there like Rob did a couple of years ago outside the Bear and then crack on. Some of you may decide to have a rest for the night and start again. That's why we made it a pub for 10.6. Turn point 7, you're going back to the alt. You will know it by now because you'll have seen it in the morning. And then you're going to make your way back to Crickhowell. End of speed section is in our Bullpit Meadow. If you're landing tomorrow evening, it might be a little bit windy. Wind will be blowing downstream along the river, probably aligned with the field with a westerly wind. You can set up over the bridge and over the caravan site at the eastern end of the big field, and your only real hazard within the landing field is that isolated oak tree in the middle. Landing on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon will be more challenging because it's going to be quite windy in there and quite turbulent, so go steady. Also remember, you are not allowed on the A40 apart from the 2 spots that we've already mentioned. So you're going to fly from Altaresca back to Crickhowell at some point. You need to think about that if you land out. You need to position yourselves so that you can walk legally within the rules, because you're not allowed down the A40 from Bulk to Crickhowell. Those are some of the hostelries that are around. So, and a little bit of more geographics for you. We're starting here near the Horseshoe Inn. You're going to go to this mountain, here. That's the White Hart, that's the turn point 6. Up towards Langorse, there are pubs, but on the 479. So if you land anywhere between Wijnvaak and Langorse, it's no man's land here, really. The road, the A479, is closed this year. That's why it's not on the no-go list, because there was a landslide. But the Farmer's Arms, which is further south on the road, will probably be open tomorrow afternoon. And there is residence access along this road. So if you are walking along the 479 at any point, just be careful. It is closed to through traffic. In some ways, that's good. In some ways, it just means the locals are blasting along it because they're not expecting to see anyone on the road. But yeah, Farmer's Arms is an option for a drink if you've run out of water. Cool. Next one. Questions. I'm going to stop screen share. Unmute you all. And then I'll ask you all to start your video. And because Telegram will have an absolute paddy if you all start talking, I'll ask you just to put your hand up, please, if you have a question. Tim Pentreath, go ahead.
Are all the turn points, can they be taken by the air, or are some sort of ground turn points? Just very optimistic.
No, so Alex Coltman thinks that someone will fly the route tomorrow. He thinks that someone will get round in the air, although he hasn't seen the interwind warning. But no, Tim, if you would like to fly straight over the White Hart and go back to the Alps from there, you are more than welcome to. You do not have to be on the ground for any of the turn points.
Thank you.
Cool. Tony Blacker.
With the live track course, can someone send that out via, I think it's Telegram or WhatsApp, is it?
What do you need, Tony?
If anyone's got it on the live track, rather than by the QR code, but by Telegram.
Yeah, I'll do that, mate. I will shortly be sending out all sorts of file formats. I would expect to get some Telegram messages asking for different file formats, so I will be firing those out shortly.
It actually comes out from live track, doesn't it? There's a format from live track.
It does, but if you remember what I said, Matt hasn't done it yet because he's in Iraq.
But you've got it on live track, so if anyone's got it, they can share it.
So the QR code is from XC Track, but yeah, we can. I will share the screenshot of that QR code in the Telegram group.
I don't know how to do phone on to phone.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah, and you're on your own, aren't you? Yeah, I'll send you the file then. That works. XC Track file, task file.
Ping every time you're in the cylinder.
Yeah.
Do that, Tony? Yeah, we'll do that.
Yep.
Cool. We can do it. Greg had a question in the dark.
Put it onto view ranger. Ellie, I just wondered if you could share the QR code screen again.
I will share it. That's lovely music. We'll just pause that for now, if that's all right. We'll have that after. Who is that? Not Pentry. No. Who is that?
It might be me, is it?
It's probably Tosh. He's at the music festival. No. No, not guilty. Right, it's quiet again. Good. Right, anyone else for a question? It's Tosh. It was Tosh. He's at a festival. I don't think there were festivals on. Right.
It's really good. It's got a little trail.
Anyone else? Because I haven't got all your faces, because some of you still aren't sharing video.
Cool.
No other questions? I'm going to share the task file and the QR code, and that's it. And I'll take any other questions, guys. I'll see you in the morning. Right, he's muted. Muted Tosh. Tony's got a question. Go, Tony.
I'm about half an hour away from the campsite. Where is everybody on the campsite?
Near the top.
Go on, Greg. Greg can answer that question for us.
Oh, sorry. I'm distracted him.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question there.
Where are you on the campsite?
We're across the little stream. From reception, you've got to go to the west, and then we're across the little stream.
So they're in the group 2 start cylinder for tomorrow.
How did you do it?
Very good,
Greg.
No, we're at the top of the campsite, not the bottom where the start is.
So Tony, you go into the campsite, cross the little stream, turn right, and you'll find them.
Up at the top near the chickens.
Yep.
There's not that many other people around. I'm sure you'll find them.
Okay.
Padam, go for it.
Sorry, it could be a stupid question. Because Ed said start is at 08:30 tomorrow morning.
Yep.
What if you got late and can we still do similar to how, we start the day 2, like start from the whatever time we'll go there, start from there?
Yeah, if you want to start late, Padam, you can start late. That's fine.
Yeah, because, thank you.
Good. Does anyone else want to start late, or are you all happy starting on time?
I think Tim and Greg should start late.
He's just trying to give you an advantage.
Yeah. Yes.
Just more markers downwind, isn't it? It's easier then. Good. Guys, shout if you've got a question, because I'm going to say goodbye and do some admin.
Can I ask where Tosh is right now? Because it sounded like he was having a party.
Is it?
Did you rename a route?
No, because you get flagged into
No. Does Dan Horman have a question? He's put his hand up in the actual chat thing. I didn't know that.
You just turn it on every now and again.
Yeah, sorry.
Speak
Where's
now.
the list of pilot entry numbers to know which dark we're in?
This is really useful.
So where's the list of pilot entry numbers?
You got there next, and then you can
Is that
see-
the question?
Okay.
So if you go,
Yeah.
you go to live track 24 and go to the event page and go to the pilot list, you'll see your number. You got that, Dan?
Yeah, got that.
Good.
Oh, you need a laptop.
Ask me one on sport. Anyone? Cheese? No.
Ali,
Yeah.
where's the list for who's in which group?
Brilliant. Who's asking that now?
It's not. I want to know which group I'm in, group 1 or group 2.
Right.
The start.
So you're going to go to live track 24.
Yeah,
You're going to go to the pilot list.
yeah, got that. Yeah. It's grouped already. Okay.
And no, it's not. If you're at pilot number 1 to 25,
Oh,
you're in
yeah.
group 1. And
Right.
if you're a higher number than 25, then you're in group 2.
Okay, doke.
Cool. Anyone else? Keep
Where
them
am I,
coming.
Wayne?
Still here.
They'll divide it.
You've got 10 seconds.
Doesn't really matter as long as we've got 2 groups of 30. And it
Brilliant.
means-
All right, guys. I will see you bright and early. See ya.
Bye.
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 See you tomorrow.
See you in the morning, chaps.
Look forward to it. Bye.